To find out how many solutions exist for each of these equations, let's start by looking at the x's. Here on the left, 3x and 2x are different, and the middle and the right are both the same, negative 2x and negative 2x, 7x and 7x. So for 3x plus 4 is equal to 2x plus 5, we can jump straight to one solution because the x's are different. It doesn't matter about the constants. For this next one, the constants are the same. The numbers are the same. So we're going to call this infinite solutions. Doesn't matter what you plug in, it's always going to be true. Notice here, the constants are different. And because of that, it doesn't matter what you plug in, it's never going to work. We're going to write 0 solutions. For this next section, we're trying to do the same thing. If we match up our coefficients, 7 will make them the same. That's for infinite. Anything but 7 will make them different. And that's the situation for infinite or one solution. Here on the right, for no solution, we want these constants to be different. So we can say anything but 7 to make them different. And for one solution, we're going to make this x or 2x or something like that, because that way it creates a different x term. If you were just trying to pick a constant, nothing would work, because the x's are the same. So for all of these, we have to remember the patterns. One solution has different x values. The constants do not matter. Infinite solutions has the same x's and the same constants. 0 solutions has the same x's but different constants. This next section you have to show your work, and if there's one solution, you have to find it. So we always combine like terms first. Here on the right, 6x and 3x go together. If we start to solve this, and I recommend starting with the letters first, you get this, which is a false statement. And that means there are no possible solutions. Let's combine like terms, the x's. So we have negative 2x plus 4 is equal to negative 2x plus 4. If I started to solve this by canceling out the x's, I get 4 is equal to 4. That's a true statement. And that means that there are infinite number of solutions that will work for this equation. Let's distribute this 2, and I have 2x minus 14 on the right, and x plus 3 on the left. So if I start to solve this, I can see that there's going to be a solution. And in this case, the solution is 17. Cancel out the x's, and then solve like normal. So first I distribute, then I combine like terms. So this gives me 4x plus 12, and I copy down everything else the exact same. And if I start to deal with the numbers, I'm going to make a mistake potentially. The first thing I have to do is combine the 12 and the minus 9. So this becomes 4x plus 3 is equal to 3x plus 27. So let's cancel out my x terms, and also at the same time, x plus 3 is equal to 27. And then let's cancel out the 3. How do I know to cancel out the 3 instead of the 27? Because it's on the same side as the x. And I want to move it to get x by itself. My final answer is 24. Let's combine like terms first. These numbers go together, so I have 3x plus 43. These constants go together, these x terms, so I have 3x plus 15. If I subtract 3x from both sides, I have 43 is equal to 15. This is not true, which means there's no solutions, or 0 solutions. After combining like terms here on the right, I have negative 3x plus 5 is equal to negative 3x plus 5. You'll notice they're the exact same. That's a pretty big clue. If I start to cancel things out, I end up with a true statement, which means that there are infinite solutions. So, it's no accident here that there's 2 infinite, 2 no solutions, and 2 one solutions. Notice that I have to show work. I can't just write no solution. There's a lot of ways to do that. What I recommended is after you combine like terms and distribute and combine like terms, all of those things, you cancel out x's first. That will give you either a true or false statement, and that tells you or justifies your solution. When we're doing absolute value expressions, pay close attention to where these brackets are, because everything inside the brackets happens first. So the first thing I do is negative 18 plus a negative 9. And that brings me further negative to a negative 27. If I rewrite that, the 27 becomes positive because everything inside the brackets becomes positive. But this negative right here, which is outside of the bracket, stays. So my answer is negative 27. I put it in parentheses, anticipating doing more, but I could just write it as negative 27. First thing I do here is negative 8 minus 0, which gives me negative 8. Second thing I do here is I turn that into a positive 8. Third thing I do here is I do 4 times 8, which is 32. And then I subtract 1, and my final answer is 31. So let's go back to the basics. Anything inside the bracket is going to come out positive. If there's a negative outside of the bracket, though, that's going to stick around. So this turns into negative 16 minus a positive 14, which brings me to negative 30. This turns into 10 plus 10, which brings me to a positive 20. Negative 17 minus 16 is equal to negative 33. If you're thinking 2 negatives makes a positive, that only works for multiplication or division. Here, we're just going further negative. Inside the brackets, I have 18 minus 7, which is 11, and the absolute value of 11 is just 11, because it's distance from 0, so it always comes out positive. 6 minus 7 is negative 1. If I take the absolute value of that, it's just 1. So I do 5 times 1 minus 3, or 15 minus 3, which is 12. Negative 4 times the absolute value of 5. That's the first thing I did, is 11 minus 6. So that's negative 4 times positive 5 minus 7. Negative 20 minus 7 is negative 27. For this last one, I start by combining here. This turns into negative 2 times positive 13. And I'm just going to write plus, because these two negatives right next to each other like this are going to cancel out. I have negative 26 plus 20, which gives me negative 6. So really important to note, when you have a number inside the brackets, that means multiply. A few more examples of that. Here, you multiply by whatever's in front of the brackets. It's different when you see a plus or a negative or a subtraction sign like this compared to just having a number. This one means subtract, but all these other, you're going to multiply. Key thing to notice.